Okay, so this video is going to be detailing both GreenTick Genetics, in other words the split called Corsa Boss, and then the Railroad, or in other words the split called Railroad Rip. Okay. So, yeah. Alright, so what you want to do here is exit your power armor in this spot, facing the door, because you end up running past raiders and Mirelurks, and having your armor like this basically prevents anything that comes through from attacking you, or like it makes it harder for them to do so. So you can exit, eat the body, and then get back in. And this is the body that you eat. Just eat it and then get back in. It is important to eat that body because at this point it's been a long while since you've last eaten a body, and so otherwise you would be getting hungry again very soon. So then you run past here. Once you enter here, there's going to be some explosions in the next series of hallways, so you want to linger in here for a bit. So what I do is I go over here, shoot that turret, and then shoot that turret, and reload as I go through here. I didn't reload, but I run back this way, and that reduces the amount of damage that I take as I run through here, because the explosions stop kind of as I enter here. You know, there's like a couple left, but not that many. So then you run past all these guys. Kill those guys if you need to, but you generally don't. Generally don't. Over here, the gunner over here I always kill, because there's some stuff that needs to be taken care of over on the bridge and on the other bridge that's a bit higher up. So this gunner always gets killed. Might take a bit, but then I blow up those landmines just so that they don't blow up underneath me. And then I take a jet, I go about to the middle of the bridge, and then go over here. And then I shoot over here until I see experience. Or actually no, I don't see anybody. Okay. Usually at that point, the missile guy is actually in that little hallway there. I'll go back to what I'm looking. Yeah, usually the missile guy is over here when you enter here. So you can basically shoot there, and then when you get the experience, you've killed that guy. But then just run through here. Don't worry about other items to collect. Stim pack if you're a bit low on health. I run through here. Now there is also a yeah. So that was a really smooth jump. But for some reason, after this speed run, for one thing, I found that this jump is, for whatever reason, a lot harder to do, because in this room, your jump height when using jet and on that little bridge is a lot lower. But also you don't. But also the explosions in in the um in the next series of rooms end up killing you. Although I don't know if I actually outran them in this run. But usually, if you are going to do this jump, you should probably, without Jet, jump onto the rail, and then with Jet, jump across to this area. But it might just be the thing to do to run the long way around anyway, which will give yourself time to have the explosions run out, and you won't need to wait for them. But I just run through here, and then the next run I did this in, it killed me. Yeah, so you can see explosions going on there. Maybe there just happen to be less explosions than there usually are over there. I don't know. But, had there been another couple of explosions, I would have died. And so, you need to wait till the explosions are done. Because that's better than losing, like, 4 or 5 minutes from having to redo all this. Good news, once you enter this elevator and the door closes, took a while there, but once you enter this and the door closes, you're basically safe because the courser itself is a lot less of a threat than all these gunners are. So, yeah, another thing that you might feel the need to do is to just shoot the gunner that's right in front of the elevator so that you don't get shot a lot as you enter. That's another reasonable thing to do. Alright, so you just run up here. In this run, the nuka machine over here happened to have a quantum. Usually it doesn't. I don't think I even used it. So, there's that. Then just use the Psychojet and shoot the courser. Preferably try to shoot him in the torso, so that you actually hit him and don't shoot between his legs. And also helps that's usually, as you're shooting him, he'll try to go for using a stealth boy. But that just gives you more time to shoot him while he's not attacking you, so it's not that common that you'll have that you'll end up that you'll end up with having to shoot him while he's in stealth. And then once you get the, again, just like with Kellogg, once you have all of his items except for his clothing, then you leave. Because his stealth boys are also useful later on, and the stim packs and all that stuff. And then you go into the terminal and leave, and that's the end of the Courser boss splits. But I'll be continuing the video to talk about the railroad splits. Now, to go over the basic idea of the railroad split, Also, I guess another thing is a bit before you jump off, you want to start reloading because hitting the ground cancels your reloading. Like that, I reloaded and then it cancelled. Now over here, I generally find it a good idea to kill. Well, that guy didn't finish off, but I usually find it a good idea to kill all the raiders that I can immediately see. I don't go all the way through and thoroughly kill all of them, just the ones immediately in my way that I can see. And that's so that later on, there's not as many raiders trying to attack me as I run past this area. Also, I run up this, up these stairs up to here and then jump over. That's the trick that I learnt from Tomato Anus's 6% anthology run. Yeah. I saw it from that and it saves like a second or two. So there's that. It's helpful. And then as I run this way in the video, the general idea of the railroad is that we need to like decrypt. Oh, actually, another thing is keep an eye on that guy. If he tries to run in there, or if he is over there, then shoot him and run. Otherwise, you can just ignore him. Alright. So yeah, the general idea is not just that aggroing the railroad and then manually decrypting the chip is faster, but also you need to kill the railroad as a quest for the Institute. But if you kill the railroad exactly as you meet them, and you kill all the particular NPCs that you need to kill, it still counts, and you don't need to go back to the railroad for anything. So that's the thing with that. I'll talk more about that as I enter. In the Old North Church, you don't technically have to kill the ghouls here. I just find it a good idea to kill the ghouls because having them attack me as I'm putting in the railroad password is very annoying. It makes it likelier for me to accidentally put in the wrong letter, and it's not very good. So I go through and kill all of them. So first, that one. I even go to the point of running over here to kill the ghoul in this corner over here. So don't forget that one if you need to kill all of them. And then all the other ghouls I come across, I kill. Also, yeah, I do get it. There's a med box there. You can get good stuff from it. I think I even take the antibiotics because I forget what disease I had, but I had a disease. Might have been lethargy actually. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, through here, all the ghouls just kill. Now, you might come across a legendary ghoul. If you do, it usually costs too much time to go through and kill that ghoul entirely because they're like, I think twice as much health as a regular ghoul. So with those, it's sufficient to shoot them enough so that one or both of their legs are missing and they can't move. That way they won't follow you and you can just go through anyway. And that saves a bit of ammo, a bit of shooting, and is generally good. Okay. So here you want to spin counterclockwise until rail, then do RAIL. And then 3 left, 4 right. Oh no. 3 left. 1, 2, 3 left again. 4 right, 5 left. Okay. Now there's a strat in here that It's Jabbo found where you can just immediately shoot these guys. But then the lights never turn on and it's always dark in there and it's kind of difficult to see everybody. I just find it a lot easier to wait till the lights turn on before I shoot everybody. And if I look at the timer, I can see how much time that would lose about. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 seconds. So probably better to wait the 3 seconds rather than to shoot immediately, in my opinion. Now, as another thing, in order to kill the railroad as per the needs of the Institute, you need to kill 5 named NPCs in there. You need to kill Glory, Drummer Boy, Desdemona, and Deacon. Actually, okay, no, it's 6 NPCs. So, Glory, Drummer Boy, Desdemona are in here immediately. Deacon enters shortly after, once you've killed them. Also, don't worry about their items. Also, we will also be locked there for a bit. But that's fine. Once you move, you can move. Oh, I do pick it up, but I don't. But I really didn't need to. So kill that guy. 2 railroad agents enter immediately after. It's a good idea to kill them as well, but you don't, strictly speaking, need to. And then you enter here. And then the 2 NPCs in here is Tinker Tom and Carrington. You need to kill both of those. So Carrington is always to the left. So he's over there all the time. And you go in and he goes down quick. And then over about here, you'll usually find Tinker Tom. And he goes down there fast as well. When all those are dead, you go to the terminal. The thing on the terminal is that. You go to the circuit analyzer, do decode chip. There's no requirements to do that other than, obviously, you need to go to the terminal, but you know you don't need int or anything else. No perks needed. And then once you've decoded the chip, just leave. Now, as I get to the other side of here, the first thing to point out is that none of the enemies in the railroad will follow you through the door. So that's quite useful. but also, I mean, for one, I'm right here and going to eat one of these guys, but right about here, I'm going to start talking about something that happens in the game that I call hunger glitch, and it's basically where the game prematurely removes well read from your person. So, according to the game, a corpse is meant to satisfy you for 12 in-game hours, right? And also 12 in-game hours is meant to be about 36 minutes. So you should only need to eat not that often, but but yeah, sometimes you lose hunger quite quickly. Now, one of my theories about it, guess I'll see if I eat. Okay, so it's actually Drummer Boy that I ate there, and not Glory. I think some of the time I ate Glory, and so I had a theory that maybe because Glory is meant to be a synth, because she's a synth, she like doesn't feel as much hunger. Even though synths are supposed to, be the same as regular humans, which you learn from the trappers in the Far Harbor DLC, but yeah. So, that's one possibility, that Glory doesn't count as a full body and all that. Another theory I have is that the other dead body area that I use, that dead body plus some of the other spawned in dead bodies, the theory is that those don't count as fully nutritious dead bodies. And that's because they're like been there for a while. So maybe that's Bethesda's logic on this. Also, this ends the split for Railroad Rip, but I'll also be going over Glowing Seed 2 in this video so that I can talk about Hunger Glitch a little bit further. Alright, so we leave back this way, run back to Cabot House. So also, if we review the dead bodies that have been eaten so far, the first one was a freshly killed Triggerman. The second one was Cook, who was also freshly killed. The third one is a dead body at the basement of Fort Hagen, but maybe the game counts that as freshly killed because of story reasons. Then there's the dead body called Mikhail at Swan's Pond, and then the dead body outside of Good Neighbor, and then the first dead body in Green Tech. So it's those. And my theory is that the first few count as freshly killed, so they satisfy you for longer, and then other ones don't count as that, so they don't satisfy for as long. So that's one possibility. So yeah, we run through here. I also run past this light post rather than going through the little alley. It sort of goes around the random event spawn. Now outside of that, I don't have many ideas as to the cause of hunger glitch. Also that spot like there, right there, you'll... No, I'm pointing... Yeah, well, that spot right there, you typically have like a lag spike. Now, it's about here. Yeah, so in there somewhere, there's another power armor station if you really need it. But I generally find that I don't need it. Now the next body that I need is right here. And this is like the closest dead body to the glowing sea that's kind of safe to eat. But I don't know. Possibly... Actually, no. It was a previous theory that I thought of, that eating glory and then eating that, that eating glory counted as a full dead body, and then eating the dead body right there overwrote having eaten glory. So the game like removed some of your hunger rather than adding. But when I tried just eating glory, I got hunger glitch even earlier. But okay, so just so that the timing is known, I ate that dead body at 150, and so with everything that I know about the game, that dead body should last me until 220. Well, 226. Which is pretty much about the time that I enter the Institute. And like there's also a couple of dead bodies on the way there. So it should be enough, but it never is. And I have no clue why. So, this is one of those open problems, I guess. I know that Tomato Anus has bounties on some of the other tricks in this game, but I don't have a way of putting a bounty on this because I don't have the financial ability to do that. So, if you find some way, like if you find one of two things, either information about how hunger glitch works, or you find a way to prevent it, either bit of knowledge would be very much appreciated. but all I can give you is like the satisfaction of having helped a lot. So there's that. Oh, and also the route that I showed you is basically the route that I took, and then from here it's basically the same path to Virgil's Cave and back. There's pretty much no difference whatsoever. So I'll skip forward and talk about a few other things. Okay, so for one, remember this random event area? Well, this random event area, and if I skip forward, yeah, this other one, which at this point, okay, that spawns some red roaches and some dead bodies. So if in one of those spots you find dead bodies, it might be worthwhile to leave your power armor and eat them and get back in. And there's also a note to myself, I guess, to do that. Yeah. So that's, I guess, the closest kind of safe dead bodies to the glowing sea. But also, it's not reliable. Like, you might not get dead bodies there. You might get super mutants or red scorpions or death claws or whatever. So it might be a thing where you look for dead bodies, and if you find them, you save a bit of time. Otherwise, you lose like a minute or two. And yeah. So I got a file. Don't think it was this. No. Okay, I think it was this one. Yeah, okay. So food, hunger glitch. Alright, so Alright, so I have 4. I'll move everything back to where it was so that the view isn't as awkward. So you can see right here, it might be that if you have a disease, I know it isn't the case for parasites, because I had hunger glitch happen exactly the same with parasites as without. But maybe if you have various diseases, it causes your hunger to decline faster, or like, you know, your hunger to increase faster, your food to decrease. You know, you get hungry maybe you get hungry faster if you're diseased. But I feel like this isn't the case, because parasites doesn't cause you to get hungry faster, and that's the only disease directly related to hunger. It might be that dead bodies don't always fill you up to full. It might be just like any other food, and just takes whatever number your hunger is and adds a fixed amount to it. And so it might be that at that point in the game, the player is like hiddenly extra hungry for some reason. And so eating the 2 dead bodies there isn't enough to fully remove the hunger for the actual amount of time it's possibly be there for. I already talked about the old bodies and synths theory, but the other possibility is that every time you eat a dead body, it gives you less hunger satisfaction each time you do it. But I'm not sure if this is actually the case because of the amount of time between the last dead body and the end of the run. So that might not be it. It might be it. I don't know. Yeah, let's see. I think I've talked about everything else in this list. I talked about that stuff. The perks I'm going through as the run goes through. That stuff. I guess one thing to point out with like the power armor speed, I'm not sure if I've talked about this before, but I did tests comparing running with power armor and running outside of power armor without speed legs, and it actually turns out that the 2 speeds are about the same. So under most circumstances, you're better off running with power armor because it doesn't lose as much time, and you save a lot more time in places like Kellogg's, in Fort Hagen, in Green Tech, even in Park Street Station, Vault 114. You save a lot more time than you lose from any slowness that could possibly happen with the power armor. So yeah, there's that at least. Like, for example, in Fort Hagen, using power armor saves 2 minutes. So there's that. Talked about the cores as I go. Military circuit board, circuitry. Ceramic from Nick's mugs, aluminium, steel, and cloth, ammo. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've gone through everything that I need to so far. Alright, so the last thing to do is to see where hunger glitch happens. So it's usually shortly after talking to Virgil again. Okay, that's weird. I didn't get it for some reason. I didn't get hunger glitch and I didn't eat glory. That's weird. Oh, it happened right here. Right. There. So that was a lot later on than it happened in more recent runs. And I think the big difference is actually glory. But still, that was 15 minutes when it should be 36. So even that is the hunger glitch. But if it happens here, it's a lot easier to deal with. Yeah. So possibly I shouldn't eat glory. If that turns out to be it, that's going to be very weird. Like, if not eating glory is the thing that stops Hunger Glitch from here on, that's going to be weird. Because one of the big points in the game is that there's meant to be no way of checking if somebody is a synth or not, unless you open up their skull and look inside. But apparently the game just considers synths to be made of plastic. And possibly that also explains... possibly it also explains that... or explains about Hunger Glitch happening from the courser, where I eat the courser and then like minutes later, hungry again. So maybe. So if this is the effect of not eating a courser, what I could do... Well, no, if this is the effect of not eating glory, I suppose I could still try to look in both spots for a dead body that I can eat. But I will be losing time from the leaving power on animation, the eating animation, and the entering power on animation, rather than losing time from that plus being slow from being hungry. Okay, that might be the way to do it. That is also going to be the end of this video. For me, Glowing C2 actually ends before this. It ends when I it ends before this. It ends as I run past the highway that separates the Glowing Sea from the rest of the Commonwealth. But I want to see if Cricket is here, because sometimes she is, out of curiosity. Not there. Okay. Sometimes she is, but usually she isn't. Not worth worrying about. That's going to be it for this video. The next one is going to detail the next split. The Enter Institute split. So